In my intro video, it opens with me like writing like aggressively on some journal thing. Why? Well, because all the self-improvement work that you do is through this fucking thing. It's through this thing.
You can attach meaning to your life, but that meaning is yours and yours alone. It's not objective. It's not an absolute.
Check 1, 2. What is up, bitches? Sean Killingsworth here. Another video for you. And this one is about how to journal. How to find a journal. And if you've never had a journal before or anything, this video is for you, specifically for you. If you think it's useless, that you've never done it, this is for you. If you're not sure that it's the right thing to do, it's for you. Are you serious on your path to self-improvement? If you are, you need this. This is the ultimate self-coaching tool. The best way to learn on your own. The best way to become better on your own. Because basically this allows you to have a conversation with yourself that you keep track of. And every single word that you utter in those pages will stay with you. The lessons from those pages will always be there in those pages. Whether written, typed, or whatever, doesn't matter. So what to write about in a journal? Introspection, epiphanies about life, dream interpretation, great life events that happen to you, free writing, just writing about whatever shit, idea generation, and ask big questions. I think that's the process of journaling that like makes most of self-improvement, is asking big questions, like really, really big questions that like I couldn't even talk in this video. For example, what is the meaning of life? What was I put on this earth to do? What is the one thing that I'm good at that no one else in the world can replicate? What is the one thing that makes me stand out from the rest of every other single human being on this planet? Or what is the one thing that makes me connected to every single human being on this planet? A conversation with your past self, conversation with your child's self or something, a conversation with a parent or a good friend of yours that you find too difficult to have in real life, so you just have it on paper. Because a lot of our difficult conversations, sometimes it's just better to have them on paper at first with ourselves. I actually just finished this entire journal. I started it in June 2016, and if you see there, and I have like this nice title, like, oh, the nameless journal, whatever thing. It starts off with like some cool intro at the beginning. I just write. I write a shit ton of things, like a shit ton. And I went through an entire like 300 pages, something like that. And I write about everything. I write about like how I'm feeling. I write about life epiphanies, self-development exercises that I do on myself, book notes, Austin Kleon, Steal Like an Artist, bullet points, stuff like that. And this is like, some people wonder like, wait, how do you come with all this content? Well, through journaling, I just come up with it. It's like I'm just writing and writing and writing and writing, and then all of a sudden, as I'm writing, some idea will come for some video, and I just do it. It's like it randomly appears to me. And through this process of writing that I get better in self-improvement. So, it allows you to self-correct, auto-correct when you are on your path towards your purpose. And then at some point you maybe reach a crossroad, or you're not sure where to go. Through the process of journaling, you rationalize all your thoughts. You made them more tangible on paper, and then you can see your own thoughts more clearly. You can see where you're headed more clearly. And because it becomes more clear, then you can more rationally assess the situation. You see like your situation more clearly, not just auditorily in your head, but also visually on paper. And then you can start drawing diagrams and lines and numbers and structure things, so then helps you to do things for ideas of videos. I even like brainstorm like ideas for videos, right? So then like that was like about like the shroom strip video right here. Just writing some ideas about like what it's like to be on shrooms. Very funny things. As I'm writing, I even like write song names like in the middle, like, oh yeah, so I wrote this entry with this song, so then I can listen to it like, and I'll remember what it was like to be writing in that moment. Objectives for like a certain year, right? So then 2017, I'd be like, oh yeah, so those were my goals, objectives, whatever thing. Like I write a shit ton there, writing the values all there, like trying to find which one I really resonate with the most. And I'm going through like various introspection and stuff like that. So I take this really, really, really seriously. And you don't have to take it as seriously. You could just have a journal just to write about yourself or whatever, if it's important to you or not. Just to show you what I do to improve and how I come up with all my content and how I become better. It's through journaling. It's like I talk about this all the time, but I actually never showed you guys like actually what it looks like. So it looks like this. I showed you a few pages, very simple. You can do it however the fuck you want. You don't have to put it like crazy colors and whatever, do crazy shit with it. No, it could just be a notebook that you somehow like write shit in. To do a little recap, why should you journal? It's one of the best self-development tools ever. For self-introspection, self-inquiry, how to find yourself, what's important to you. It's a book about yourself where you can let go of your dark secrets, your traumas, and it's like a way of like processing all this shadow inside of you, right? If you want to overcome traumas, I've heard a lot about people in my comments, like, how do you overcome trauma, about this, about that? All traumas are different, but the process is all the same. It's really just sitting down with it and making peace with it. And the best way to make peace with it is to write it all down. And the beauty with a journal is that you don't need to be calling someone. You don't need to be talking to a friend, or a therapist. This shit right here, this thing right here is your therapist. This thing is your best friend. And it is amazing the expression that you can have with this. Like, you can grow so much with this. And instead, honestly, I would much rather, for everyone, instead of paying like $100 or $200 sessions with like a psychologist or whatever, just get this. Start with this and do that for like a few months, and then write in it like whenever you feel like it, and whenever you feel like really sad or whatever, just read in this, just write in this, just write in this. And just this expression of yourself in that book, it's like better than a therapist, almost. That's just my opinion. So what will that do to journal? You will have an increased sense of self-awareness. You'll be more likely to pinpoint which emotions you're feeling. So if you're struggling with, for example, emotional numbness, having a journal with you will really help the hell out of you, because you'll be able to pinpoint those emotions better. And self-reflection really helps to make self-development stick. Because if you don't write it down, it's less likely to stick, and you're more likely to backslide. So you start progressing, like you become happier, whatever, more confident, and then somehow you backslide. You don't know why. Well, it's because you didn't write down the lessons for the day. You didn't write down how you got better, how to improve. You didn't analyze it on paper. You just did it in your head, so it didn't stick. But if you write it down constantly, it will stick. So how do you start to journal, right? Now you know the importance of journaling, and if you've gone that far in the video, I'm guessing you might want to start, right? So how the fuck do you do it? First of all, ask yourself, well, if I were to have a journal, why would I want to write in it? It's different for everyone. So for example, you could have a journal just to express yourself, literally just to write it down, like talking to a therapist. That could be a view of doing it. You want to solve problems. You could have just a journal to do like math problems in it. Like if you're a logical person and you're like this crazy Nikola Tesla person, just do mathematics in it. Amazing. You could take book notes. You can do poetry. You can write ideas for your next novel, for your next film, or just like diary type, like journal diary types of entries, like you just write about your life. Spontaneous ideas, philosophizing, dream interpretation. That's a really interesting one. And I'm probably gonna one day I'll do a video on how to interpret dreams and stuff like that, or just how important dreams can be in your self-development. If we spend a third of our lives sleeping, it could be very interesting to analyze it, break it down and stuff like that, right? So after you've discovered why you want a journal, go pick up a journal. So make sure it's beautiful, that you like it. Whatever style you like, make sure that every time you look at the journal, it makes you want to write in it, right? So me, I bought like a nice like fake leather a journal thing, so then when I touch it, it feels like really nice. And you open it, it's like string attached, so like to like mark my page. So then it's really aesthetically beautifully minimalistic. It's just black. I liked it so much that I bought another one, and they're not that expensive. They're like $20. Well, it's kind of expensive for like a fucking notebook, but if it's beautiful, it's gonna make you want to write in it. So make sure you like it. Get your favorite pens, like whatever, like buy the best pen ever in the entire world that you're gonna like love writing with. Or maybe you don't even want a paper journal. Maybe you don't like paper journals. Then get a laptop and write in the laptop. Make sure it's an amazing laptop that you're gonna keep and that you'll want to write in it, right? So that could be another tool. But I find that just through writing itself, it's a lot more likely to stick. It's scientifically proven. I don't have the research for it, but when you take notes, handwritten, it's like a lot more likely to stick than if you were to type it down, because literally your entire hand is like concentrated in writing each letter, and then it just sticks better. Because when you type on the computer, it's like, it's not much thought put into it. But with the pen, and also when you're writing, you have a feeling that you're creating something. Don't neglect the writing aspect of it. On a complete side note, in my intro video, it opens with me like writing like aggressively in some journal thing. Why? Well, because all the self-improvement work that you do is through this fucking thing. It's through this thing. That's how I do like 95% of all my self-improvement is through this. It's really like the foundation of my channel and how I came up with all those ideas. And like in this book right here, like all the ideas in this book is worth, to me, it's worth like, it's priceless. There's no price tag to it. But I don't know, maybe in like 10 years, like the ideas that I wrote in this will be worth like tens of thousands. I have no idea. Maybe, that's what I hope for one day. But so any more practical note for journaling, what I do personally, I'll show you. Fuck it, I didn't find it, but like I have this very small journal that's like small like this, and wherever I go, then I have something to write in, like to journal anywhere I am. And I have a bigger one for home, like big like this. You ever like been in the train or whatever, and you have this crazy idea, and you just tell yourself, oh, I'll remember it. But sure, maybe you'll remember the idea when you get back home, but it won't be as fresh and like authentically unique and like spontaneous to the moment as when you wrote it, right when you wrote it, right? So let's say you're going through life, you're doing your groceries, whatever, and then you realize, oh wait, the key to happiness is to find my passion, to do the things that I love to do. Like instead of following other people's footsteps or what they tell me to do, I have to do what I want to do. Then you have this realization. And if you have your notebook, you note it down right away, and it's so fresh and vivid in your mind. And even as you handwrite it, like you can feel the passion oozing out of the pen onto the journal. How amazing, right? In the moment. At the very least, if you don't have that, note it in your phone. Like I note shit on my phone, like I'll show you right now. Actually, I have a section dedicated just to like epiphanies in life, and then I have this part called like video content ideas right here. So then you see like all that I write here, and yeah, you just like and I write a shit ton of things right on this, and this is like I come up with videos as I'm like going about my life, because you know, I write shit down. So whenever you're, you know, you ever feel unproductive in your life, that you're wasting time on the metro, like, oh, I should be doing something with my life, what am I doing? Well, if you have your journal, you can do something. You can do some introspection on yourself, dive into yourself and ask yourself, okay, what's the meaning of my life? Where am I headed in my life? How do I become more happy? And you can journal. Number 1, realize why you want to journal. Number 2, pick up a journal. Number 3, sit down and write. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. Don't put a schedule like, okay, I have to journal every single day at this time. You don't have to. Just make sure you like it. Make sure like every time you sit that it's enjoyable. I remember there were times in my life where I would literally like journal like several times a day for like weeks on end, and then I would like write pages upon pages upon pages, and some other times like an entire week I don't write a single word. I'm not inspired to write anything for an entire week. And the next week I just dive into it again. So there's no like right way of doing it. Another thing, in your journal, be 100% honest, because no one else is gonna read it anyways, and whoever reads it, like, fuck them. No, no one will read it. Just write 100% of it. Anything you hate or love about life, just write it. Right? Anything goes. That's the mindset. In conclusion, you should do it. Pick up a journal now. Like, at the end of this video, go to a bookstore and go to a store and buy a journal. Don't buy like some cheap ass notebook that like looks ugly. You don't even, that reminds you of elementary school, that like every time you sit down with it, like, oh, elementary school, fuck this. No, make sure you like it. Thank you for watching. That was another video, and make sure you click on the bell so you receive all my videos, and leave your comments, because I read every single comment. I really love you guys, and I really hope the best for you in your self-improvement journey. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.